watched it or not, but
I did, yeah,
oh, did you? Oh, all right. Well, thank
yeah.
God. Now, I don't know what to make of. I think Barcelona played really well in the second half. In the first half, they were dead. Not so much for this young player, Yamal. He was brilliant all through.
He's brilliant, isn't he? Brilliant.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant player. Now, when I watched the game, at at about 90 minutes, I thought the game was done. I thought, right, this is it. Barcelona's won it, and
Mm,
and I think 3 or 4 minutes into the extra time, they of course equalized.
mm.
And I thought, this isn't Barcelona. Is there something wrong with the Spanish teams now? Because Real Madrid has gone out, and now Barcelona's gone. And the irony was that Kylian Mbappe moved from PSG, um, possibly to be one of the winning Champions League with Real Madrid, and now they're
Mm.
out, and it seems PSG, and it's looking
Yeah,
it's
it's
looking
weird.
very much it's looking very much like PSG is now going to win it. I don't know how far they'll get with Inter Milan because I watched them last night and I think they were brilliant last night.
Mm.
So they were tired in the second half, but then they got back in the game and won it. So I don't know. So do you know much about Barcelona? Do you know what's happening with them? Because they've got their squad.
I mean, take the game last night. Really, you'd have put a lot of money on them in the second half, winning
Absolutely.
the overall match, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
We started off at 3-3 aggregate in the previous one,
Yeah.
and it was a bit cat and mouse for quite a long time. But as you say, into the second half, Milan visibly tired. I mean, they looked all in. And I suppose they were doing a lot of chasing off the ball. I mean, Barcelona are very much a possession side. And as you said, I mean, Yamal, at 17, I think is a phenomenon. He's excellent. And he's going to be a big noise in football, a big name in football, I should think, in the Spanish team for years to come. He's really got something that you don't often see, or almost I'd say in the league of Messi, his ability to dribble, to fall, he bamboozles the two or three players who come to get the ball from him and leaves them in his wake.
Yeah.
So wonderful footballer. And yeah, I thought Barcelona were very good in that second half. And as I say, I think the smart money would have been on them to win, but it wasn't to be. As we say, Milan were tired, but I think they did some clever substitutions because they did at
Yeah.
least two double. I don't know how many they're allowed in the Champions League, probably four, I don't know, four or five, but say four. They did two double substitutions, and that obviously is fresh legs on the pitch in the team, and that seemed to do it because they got once they got a goal back, they got fresh legs. They got confidence. Confidence will overcome most things in anything. However tired you might be, if you're confident and motivated, you can achieve anything. I think that's true of everybody in all walks of life.
Yeah.
Determination is what does it. But if you get confidence, that's wonderful. So yeah, it was a great game to watch. It was sort of end to end. I mean, there were long periods where Barcelona were dominating it, and you could argue. I think the very last kick of the game, trying to think, or of extra time. There was a point dominating it, and you could argue. I think the very last kick of the game, trying to think, or of extra time. There was a point where Yamal could actually have won it, wasn't there? or could have equalised.
Yeah, it could have equalised.
I think right at the end he had a chance, and
yeah.
he didn't make it.
Yeah, I
But
remember
yeah,
that.
it was a excellent game to watch. Of course, moving on from that, tonight we have Arsenal and PSG
Yeah.
over in Paris. So, yeah, I hope Arsenal win. As an Englishman, I hope Arsenal win. I don't normally favour Arsenal in other circumstances, but no, I've got nothing against them. But I do hope they beat PSG, and I think it would be a good final to have. I think in Munich between Inter Milan and Arsenal would make a great. And I think, given that they've missed out on the Premier League, I think they've done enough to deserve to win this Champions League. I really do. And I do think I'm perhaps a bit old-fashioned in the idea that when it becomes, an English team in an English competition outside of the Premier League, where it's very tribal and so on, I think it's good to support. I don't know whether you want Arsenal to win, but I think it's good to support the English or the British team in those circumstances. Interestingly, at Palace the other night, we had a draw. Trying to think of the score. The other night with Forest, it was 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a 1-1 draw. It wasn't a bad game, and in fact, since then it's quite refreshing, really. There have been quite a few Facebook messages to Palace fans from Forest fans saying, good game the other night, draw, fair result. You've got a good team there, and we really hope you win at Wembley. Yeah. And I think part of that is because, we knocked out Aston Villa, who are rivals with Forest anyway. But there were so many decent comments, and people were saying who come back on the train the other night after the game, they were mixing with, presumably going back into London, etc., mixing with Forest fans, and they said what decent people they were. They had good conversations, a bit of humour, and I find that refreshing. That in a very tribal game where there's most crowds don't hesitate to tell the linesman or lineswoman what they should do with the flag when they think they've made a bad decision, and the ref has called all sorts of things. I think it's quite good when you get decency and a bit of camaraderie.